Hello, my gorgeous souls. Happy to have you here today at the channel for yet another deck review. So if you've had a moment to look around my channel, if you've ever been here before, if you've had a second to take a peek at the content that is here within this space, you will see that the majority of the content that is provided are pick a card readings. There's lots of playlists having different readings to do with love-based energy, focuses on healing, high vibrational living, soul alignment, soul expansion, just, great growth concepts on your healing and spiritual journey. But I also love to do deck reviews. It's something that takes a little bit of, it gives me a little bit of levity from the, impact of doing readings, because those require a lot of energy. These are more fun. Not that readings aren't fun, they're great as well, but I love just bringing to you beautiful decks that I know and love. Some are new, some are, less well known, and I think deserve a lot of love. And this is going to be a deck today, deck review with the Midnight City Tarot. And this is a deck that is centered around, as you can probably tell, New York City. I did a deck review just before this one. And again, if you venture over within the space throughout the playlist that says deck reviews or deck tarot talk throughs, deck walkthroughs, something along those lines. The last video that I did was the NYC Tarot, and that one is fantastic, wonderful. I invite you to check that out again if you enjoy this deck review today, or you're drawn to this deck. That one has a similar subject matter. It's also based on New York City, but very, very different vibe. But because that one wasn't as popular, quite frankly, and hadn't had as much presence on YouTube, I decided to do a deck review for that tarot. And then I thought to myself, I can't possibly do a deck review for the one New York City based tarot and not the other, because this was actually the first one that I purchased. They both kind of came out at the same time. They had similar campaigning timelines on Kickstarter. And I acquired them around the same time. So I've both had these decks for about 6 months or so, since summertime. But I thought to myself, I can't possibly, I guess, review one and not the other. So even though the Midnight City Tarot is quite popular, you may have definitely seen deck reviews on YouTube for this particular tarot, you haven't seen my review of it. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. Again, absolutely stunning. I was drawn to this deck from the moment that I saw it. And I actually missed out on the Kickstarter campaign, but I was watching like a hawk for when it was available. And I still got all of the same materials and everything that you could have gotten during the campaign. I was able to get just after it ended and when it released to the public, so no worries there. I do still think at the time of reviewing this and uploading that this deck is also still available, so I'll include the contact information for the creator that she provides in all of her packaging for the deck in case you're interested in purchasing. And just a final note as well, as I do this deck review, this is a non-affiliate based review, in the sense that I don't actually know the creator personally. I may share the link for a particular deck review with the creator or artist of a deck, and they may choose to engage or view it or share it on their social pages, but it's by no means, again, an affiliate-based relationship. So the only time that you will ever see affiliate links is if the decks are available as a mass marketed publication, say on Amazon, for example, and then I will include an Amazon affiliate link for that. But any independent decks especially, you will not see, there's no affiliation, and I'm not being compensated for this review. This is just my thoughts and me expressing and showing love and appreciation for, again, decks that I find to be incredible. And I was drawn to this one immediately as soon as I saw it. It has such a different vibe from the NYC Tarot. So if you saw that review, or if you're familiar with that deck, that's a very bright, sunny deck. I would say it's kind of the daytime edition of New York City. This is going to be, as the name would indicate, more of a deeper nighttime version. It has a different feel to it, and it's just something that drew me in, and it's a very different style, and we'll take a look at that in just a moment. But let's go ahead and get started with the guidebook. Now, this is a separate purchase. You do need to add this on as a supplement when you are purchasing the deck. When you purchase the deck, you just get the deck itself, and then there's a kind of tiny little, pamphlet that fits just inside of the deck box. And if you'd like the full guidebook, that is a separate purchase. So this guidebook is incredible. Let's start with the little freebies that I got as well, because those are so exciting always to get those special touches from the artist. We have just a little business card, but it's adorable. I save everything I get from creators. This is going to be the QR code. I don't know if that will work if you take a screenshot of that, but I'll just leave it for a moment just to allow you to take a screenshot. Oh, is it focusing? Okay. Hopefully that's okay to share that. It should be okay to share that. But at any rate, that's allowing you to access information pertaining to this particular tarot deck. Again, it's very interactive. And I don't know if that QR code will work. But at any rate, there is a way to access additional content for that tarot deck. So hopefully that's okay to share. You also get 2 postcards, or I did, 2 blank postcards, different scenes. I do not believe these are actual images in the deck itself. I could be wrong, don't quote me, but I think they're a little different. Just nice little touches. Again, very, very city-esque. Loved that. And then here we have the actual book itself. This is an incredible guidebook, by the way. So for it being I would say a smaller, less substantial book, it's certainly a soft cover. The quality is not the best, I'll be honest. It's just kind of like stapled together, you know, in a 2-part, you know, it's just stapled like so, which if you were using this quite a bit, I could completely imagine these staples kind of giving way over time. So that's the only drawback. But in terms of the content, this deck guidebook is spectacular. So you have so much information on this deck. Welcome to the Midnight City Tarot. About the art, they talk about the box, they talk about inside the box, and we'll get to that as well. The base, so a lot of the packaging design, the card art. They're going to talk about the card backs, which are beautiful, and we'll see all of that in a moment. The front of the cards, each card is labeled appropriately with kind of like subway style design. That's similar to how the NYC Tarot is set up as well, but those are actually on the cards themselves, as you can see. And again, we'll see that in a moment on the actual deck. But that allows to just quickly differentiate by color which type of card you're dealing with. Talks about the borders of the cards. There's a lot of thought process, it appears, that went into a lot of symbolism that has gone into these cards. And as you can see as well from this example image, these cards are not incredibly detailed. They're all silhouette kind of shadow figures, as I call them, and they're very simplistic drawings. It does say they're hand drawn, and it just allows you to using, again, the symbolism and the included elements that they've added to each card, it allows you to just develop a really solid connection and a deeper meaning with the cards and the messages that are being conveyed. So it's, you know, again, there's just something really great about how this guidebook is set up, all of the detail that's gone into each individual card. It's very meaningful, very purposeful. You'll find an index here in the guidebook as well, which is perfect if you are brand new to tarot. This is another one that I would recommend if you are newer as a reader. This is going to give you the opportunity to really acquaint yourself with not only these cards in this particular deck, but also just tarot reading in general. Not all decks are meant for beginners, but this one would be an easy, I think, one to acclimate to. So when you get to each individual card, of course, you have the number, you have the name of the card, and then a copy of the card as well, the image of how it looks in the deck. You have the location that it was inspired by within the city, which I love. NYC Tarot does that as well. You have the vibe, which is the general feel of the card, the art. So again, discussing the artistry and the imagery. Advice. I love that there's an advice section here, because that just kind of gives you something very straightforward. Again, if you're new to tarot and you don't have a full working understanding yet of all of the main meanings of particular cards, I think this advice section will be extremely helpful for you. And then of course there's also a reversed meaning. You may not be doing reversals if you're brand new, but if you would choose to, I like that that's included as well. So we have the major arcana, of course. Each card is, you know, having its own dedicated page, which I very much appreciate. It's very organized. Very easy to read. The printing is quite small, and yet I can see it even as I'm holding it quite a ways away from my face. I can see all of this just fine. Nice and colorful. These are glossy. They're thin but glossy, almost magazine page. Slightly thicker than a magazine page, but that sort of style of paper. We get into the minor arcana, and again, then the color will change. You're going to have some of those same categories as well. The card images, the locations. I really love that advice section. I just think that's incredible. So, loving that. Let's get into cups. You can see that becomes blue. And we have swords energy. A new color yet again. And we have pentacles, coins in this deck. New color still. And there you are. The back, enjoy your journey. For more information, and this is where you would go if you're interested in purchasing, or if you have more questions regarding the deck, midnightcitytarot.com. So again, really just incredible supplemental materials. Really nice package containing a lot of content available to you if you choose to purchase that supplemental guidebook. And I highly recommend that you do that to get those extras and to get all of that. Just really nice, you know, deck material. Anytime I'm purchasing a deck, I kind of feel like it's almost not worth it to even own the deck if you're not also going to purchase the book. They're companions. They go together. So yeah, it's incredible. But getting into the deck itself, they're both equally weighted for me. Guidebook is its own, I don't want to say monster, but it's its own being here in this package. Again, why I think it's so important to own it. But the deck itself, let's just assume you choose not to purchase this guidebook. I want you to know that this deck still, you know, you may be missing out on some important supplemental material, but this deck is definitely standalone. It is perfect. You're going to start by having a rigid box. It's a two-part box, as you can see here. It is a hard box, so very high quality. I love the stylization of this. Again, the artistry. It does say again on the back here that it is hand-drawn. I believe it says that on the back. I thought it did. Yes, hand-drawn cards, 22 major arcana, 40 minor arcana, 16 court cards, and a welcome note. Oops, excuse me. Love for that. There we go, to focus for you. And again, midnightcitytarot.com in case you're interested or want to see more supplemental material. As we open up the deck, again, this was what she referenced in the beginning. This is the Fool's Journey. This is the inside top of the box. So I especially love and appreciate that additional artistry of having an image on the inside of the box. And she does the same for the bottom. You know, I think it's great that there's scenes for both. Makes that a little bit more special. One critique that I do have also is these cards are quite substantial. You know, they're thin cards, but this is a pretty substantial deck, and they're very slippery. They're a linen style feel. When they sit in the well of the box, they barely fit. You can see like the top card or two can slide off quite easily. I would hope for future editions that they'll make that well of the bottom a little bit deeper. Within the packaging of the box, again, this is the welcome note you'll receive as well. Gives you a bit of a thank you. Tells you a little bit about the cards. And again, you know, where you can find more information. On the back, about the author. Let's have this focus. Oh boy. Let's focus here. Technology, I tell you, when it doesn't want to cooperate. It's about as good as we're going to get for the moment. It decides on its own what it wants to show. But again, you know, the deck itself is very standalone. If you are a seasoned reader, you should have no trouble at all navigating this deck, although I do highly suggest, you know, purchasing that supplemental book just to have as a reference guide, even if you are experienced in tarot. But just know, again, if you choose not to purchase that, then what you'll be receiving with this really great deck is just this tiny, you know, little pamphlet literature inside of the deck itself. Now, the card backs are incredible. Lots of purple here, which just makes me think of the crown chakra, of enlightenment, of spirituality. It does indicate in the book that that is intentional, that the cards are purple for that reason. And I love all of the cosmic vibes as well. Notice how on the card backs you have all of these stars, kind of this radiating illumination coming out from this central open eye. I think that that's so stunning and so special. Very, very unique and different card backs. In videos, when I do my pick of cards, these always stand out. There we go. These always stand out as being really incredible. Deep purple, you know, this bright illumination in the center with that eye kind of looking back at you. It always is a deck that people seem to be very drawn to in pick a card style readings. The cards themselves, quality-wise, again, these are going to be a linen style feel. This is how the card bends. However, it is very substantial. Kind of gives you a feel by the sound of how thick the card is. And then if I can bring it up close, and hopefully the camera will cooperate here. You kind of got it right there. It is a linen style feel. So there's a pattern to it. It's a little thicker. There we go. You can see that perfect up top there. But at the same time, because it's linen, it does slide. These slide around quite a bit. Going to the card fronts. Again, very bright, beautiful tones, but they're all going to be cooler colors. We have the Six of Wands here. I've been obviously using this deck, so it's not in any particular order. We have the Eight of Cups. The imagery has been wonderful. I have gotten so many additional intuitive impressions based upon this beautiful deck and the pictures, the images. We have the Five of Cups. And it's interesting too, because in the book, again, why it's so important to get the book. For example, this Eight of Pentacles or Eight of Coins image. The author states, you know, that it has a border. Each card has a border. First, it has a purple border, then it has a yellow perimeter. But sometimes the images extend outside of the border, and it kind of is inviting the reader or the viewer to step into the image and to really immerse themselves in the experience of whatever's kind of being showcased in that particular artwork. And I thought that that was very both ingenious and, again, just so reflective of how much thought process went into everything that they've used, all the details that they've employed in creating this deck. We have the Fool, the Tower. I love, you know, very different imagery. This is going to definitely depart mostly from the Rider-Waite-Smith artistry and images that you're used to. But again, if you have any knowledge of tarot, you'll still be able to gain a lot and more and slightly different impressions from the style that is employed here. This is one of my favorite cards. So let's just look at this for a moment and you think to yourself if you know where this is from. It's a very famous scene from a popular show set in New York City. You know, pivot, pivot. I just love that. I love that that was included. And anyone who's seen that show and is familiar with that scene of them trying to move this couch in the hallway, you're going to know immediately when you see that card. So fun stuff like that in there. We've got the Ace of Swords as well, the High Priestess. And again, each one of these images, when it shows a full person, it's a silhouette. It just, I think that adds a sense of mystery. It almost looks a little bit like, you know, not scary, but it's just a little haunting, you know, but it's meant to reflect the view in the night sky, it says, of the city. And I think it also just adds a unique touch when you don't see the faces and you don't have an ability to know, like, you know, the gender of anybody, any kind of diversity. So in fact, this has almost got like an alien-like cosmic, again, vibe. So it's got so much diversity that it's not even actually depicting, you know, true human beings in their form that we see them, you know, every day when we look at others. Imagine if this is how our world looked. It does look very alien-like, very just interesting silhouetted images, black figures. It actually, when I first started working with this deck, and again, another New York City reference, I don't know if there's any connection, but the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze, may he rest in peace, and Demi Moore, you know, when they depict the parts of the film where, you know, like Carl, for example, who was a bad guy, or that Willie guy that was working with him, you know, when they get dragged off to, I think it's like hell, must be. This is what it looks like. It's kind of like a shadowy black figure. So it kind of makes me think of that. And that was why I sort of got a little freaked out. But the cards themselves have been incredible to work with and are so, so beautiful. Again, a very different style, very like almost simplistic, but not. It's very modern, again, very cosmic. You have seen, I'm sure, decks on the market that look similar to the imagery found here. Can't place it exactly, but is it like the modern witch or the cosmic something? Anyway, you know, it's just similar, like very colorful, but deeper, cooler toned colors, a slightly eccentric kind of a vibe to it. Again, this is going to be like your nighttime version of the city deck, and then NYC would be more your daytime, your traditional views that you would see in the city, like a traditional picturesque version of New York City. And then this is going to be more of a different incantation, a little bit of again, something slightly different vibe, nighttime, different approach to the deck. A lot went into this, and it is high quality. You know, it's a very, very different style deck. And I know that I had critiques about the guidebook and then, you know, just the depth of the box, but like, let me assure you, these cards and this deck I have been working with faithfully for 6 months, and they look brand new, you know. So these are high quality cards, a beautiful deck, truly remarkable. Really enjoyed having both of these versions of New York based tarot decks. I'm very drawn to that area. I've never been there, but I happen to love it. I hopefully will be there someday, just to visit at least. And, you know, for there to be two themed decks, themed tarots based on the same area coming out at the same time, kind of interesting. But because they're so different, I highly recommend both. And again, if you are wondering what I'm referring to, I invite you to check out the previous video in the playlist of these deck reviews, which is the NYC Tarot. With that said, I like to close off each of my deck reviews with a mini pick a card reading, again, just to give you a feel for not only my style of reading, if you're interested in watching my fuller pick a card readings, but also so you can get an idea for how this tarot deck reads. So we're going to go ahead and clear the table, set things up, have 3 crystals and 3 piles for you to choose from, and then we'll get you a little mini message courtesy of the Midnight City Tarot. Stay tuned. Welcome back. So I've set up the 3 piles. Again, this is a mini pick a card reading courtesy of the Midnight City Tarot. If you're interested in seeing what message this tarot deck has for you, and if you'd like to also see and are interested to know how the deck reads and relays information and insights, messages, then feel free to select a pile. Again, we're going to do a mini pick a card and just a mini reading, whatever the Midnight City Tarot wants to bring forward and share with you today. For pile 1, we have the Aura Coated Quartz point. Pile 2 is the Lepidolite point, and pile 3 is the Fluorite point. Go ahead and consider, reflect, and decide whichever crystal is calling to you most, whichever pile resonates with you most, or go ahead and select based on the timestamps. I include those below as well for each of the pick a card piles. I will meet you over at your reading in a moment for your message, courtesy of the Midnight City Tarot deck. Hi, pile 1. You were drawn to the aura coded quartz point, and this is your mini message courtesy of the Midnight City Tarot. Let's go ahead and see what cards you got today and what message the deck has for you. So first we have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Ten of Cups and the Ace of Coins or Ace of Pentacles. So for you, pile 1, it is definitely looking like you're undergoing a divine shift right now. It feels like times are getting a lot happier for you after perhaps a period of difficulty or loss, uncertainty, sadness. Things are looking up. Again, you are divinely protected, divinely guided, and you are under the protection, the abundance, the blessed state of being on the divine plan. You are in line with your true north, and you are going to be encountering huge happiness with this Ten of Cups. Specifically, I'm drawn to this Ace of Pentacles as well. This is representative of a new beginning, of kind of a start over, or a new solid foundation that's entering your experience. Again, I do think that things are finally grounding themselves after a period of difficulty for you, of turbulence or instability. I'm just, rainbows are featured prominently throughout this deck. As you can see, there's also one on the cover of the guidebook. In this Ten of Cups energy, we have a path here which shows two people kind of situated at the very end. There's a rainbow there as well. That's kind of a culmination of the imagery that's found in the traditional Ten of Cups card, which depicts a family that are sitting kind of all together. It's a happy ending. There's a rainbow. It just is symbolic of, again, that beautiful fairy tale ending. What I love is that all of these potted plants, which again represent growth, prosperity, abundance, they're situated along the path, and they're all differently colored. So again, adding this idea of hopefulness, faithfulness, vibrancy, beauty. There's a call here to enjoy the process, to enjoy the journey as you make your way to that final happy ending. In fact, it's not at all about the destination. It's very much about the life experience. But again, there's more fun times ahead. There's more happiness and joy coming for you. There's a new beginning. This acorn represents obviously the seed of the oak tree. From the acorn, the mighty seed grows a great big oak. So for me, this is symbolic of from humble beginnings, from perhaps just this beautiful path that you're walking, where you can see all of this, individual representations of maybe smaller efforts of abundance that are coming into your awareness. At the end of it all is a final culmination. But again, be wary of not heeding and seeing the beauty and the abundance and the potential and the promise and all of the little, triumphs, the daily triumphs and beauty that is presenting to you, that's becoming a part of, your daily life. So again, this can look very similar to having good interactions with others, being more aligned, and you're engaging and attracting higher vibrational people, better energy. More abundance can look like finding a parking space where you want it to be, having things aligned for you beautifully when you go into a store and you find something you love and it's on sale. I mean, again, it's just about paying attention and recognizing all of your blessings in all of their forms, no matter how small. Again, it represents just one piece of this larger picture. This wheel is turning, and again, there's big abundance coming for you. It feels important for you to know that, but just ensure that you are as you walk this divine path, that you are acknowledging that this is only the beginning, and there is so much more for you along the way as you make your way to sort of that large manifestation. So pile 1, I hope you so enjoyed this mini pick a card courtesy of the Midnight City Tarot, as well as this deck review. If you have, I invite you so much to please consider subscribing to this channel. That helps me out a great deal. It allows me to bring you more content. It allows me to share this with more people. and for my channel to become popular, which of course is my goal. I have not only more deck reviews you can choose to navigate over to, but I also have full pick a card readings as well. I hope to connect with you for a future video. It is such an honor anytime anyone chooses to come and share space with me. I've so enjoyed that today. And until next time, Pile 1, I hope you take great care. Bye-bye. Hi, Pile 2. Welcome to your mini pick a card reading. You were drawn to the lepidolite, excuse me, lepidolite point. And this is going to be just a mini message for you courtesy of the Midnight City Tarot. Let's go ahead and see what cards you got today. So first we have the Nine of Coins, or the Nine of Pentacles. We also have the Star, beautiful. And we have the Devil. Okay. So for you, Pile 2, you know, obviously the Devil is never a beautiful energy that we love to see, but what is so encouraging is that you have the Star here presenting in the very center of your spread. With the Nine of Pentacles, or Nine of Coins, coming out, you know, this is about stability within at an independent level. Nines in tarot are all about solitude, independence, introspection. They're very independent energies where we're just focusing on self. We're engaging in self-love and self-care, which is indicative as well here with this image being presented. And we're just taking time to, again, be considerate and thoughtful of our own energy first and foremost, and really building ourselves up. This is sort of like the pre-Empress card is what I've heard from other readers as well. And I would agree with this. You know, the Nine of Pentacles is sort of in the minor arcana suit. It is definitely the representation of having abundance, feeling abundant, and having that kind of blessed, prosperous lifestyle, and feeling that, embodying that energy. The Devil here coming through for me is about, of course, attachments, bondage, being stuck, being restricted. With these two individuals being literally handcuffed together, this could represent a relationship or some other, again, attaching, limiting, and restricting situation or energy in your field of awareness or your experience. But again, it looks like you are growing beyond that. You've managed to get yourself unstuck or out of that energy, and you're in this energy of solitude now, of independence, of supporting self, of encouraging self, and worrying about yourself. There's a whole lot of optimism and faith here indicated in the Star card that you are overcoming this energy of difficulty associated with the Devil. Whatever negativity or, you know, trials and tribulations, struggles, challenges, obstacles that you've been facing, blockages as well. Again, this is striking me as a very unhealthy attachment style, being codependent on others. Excuse me, especially financially speaking. I definitely believe, you know, that you're outgrowing that energy. And this is the energy with this Nine of Pentacles of somebody who is really coming into their own. They're growing into their best version of self, and they're self-reliant. Again, they're focused on self. They're taking care of self. And I really think this is where you are, Pile 2. This is a very encouraging message for you that you are on the right track. And Spirit wants you to know with the Star energy to just keep working at it, because there is so much optimism and hopefulness ahead for you. Things are going in a great direction. If you are still feeling stuck, perhaps you're at the beginning of this journey of getting away or releasing yourself from anything unhealthy that is attaching itself, or that you feel, you know, powerless to move away from. Again, this is a sign from Spirit of encouragement that you can rise to the challenge and meet this energy of this Nine of Pentacles, this embodiment of that, again, pre-Empress energy of abundance and prosperity and total life satisfaction and fulfillment, materially speaking, emotionally, energetically, just a complete sense of alignment within. There's a lot of soul growth happening here, Pile 2. So be encouraged no matter where you fall on the spectrum of this journey. Again, this is general, but this is the overall presentation of what I'm getting for the individuals, the viewers watching this pile, is that there is definitely something that you either are in the process or have already moved away from, and you're focusing on self, and you need to know that you need to continue, you should continue to direct your focus and your efforts and your energy there. And if you haven't yet, know that that's capable, that's possible for you. You can absolutely have this abundant, beautiful life and be secure and stable independently on your own. You have to trust and believe and have faith in that, and that will come to you, Pile 2. So hopefully this mini pick a card reading from the Midnight City Tarot has been of help to you, that you've enjoyed it. Wonderful message coming through for you today. If you have enjoyed it, I would so encourage you to decide to subscribe to the channel. By doing so, it helps me a great deal to continue to bring content to you. And as well, it allows you to become aware every time I post. I have lots of content in various playlists. Full pick a card readings. If you enjoyed this mini pick a card, I invite you to also check out those full readings that I have done. Lots of playlists featuring those, as well as, more deck reviews if that's more your style. So the channel has multiple videos serving various interests for every viewer. And it just, again, is such an honor to connect and share space with you no matter which video you're viewing. Hopefully I will see you in a future one. And until next time, Pile 2, I hope you take great care. Bye-bye. Hi, Pile 3. Welcome to your mini pick a card reading courtesy of the Midnight City Tarot. You were drawn to the fluorite point today. And let's go ahead and see what messages we have for you. Your cards are the 10 of coins or 10 of pentacles, which is beautiful, wonderfully abundant energy for you. We have the 8 of coins or 8 of pentacles. And we have the Emperor. How gorgeous. I think that's the Empire State Building. That would be interesting if it was. For you, Pile 2, or Pile 3 rather, excuse me, Pile 3. All of these energies are representative of grounding, of balance, of stability, of working towards a goal and achieving that goal, having that total real world fulfillment. So we're going to start with the Emperor because, again, even though it doesn't depict the actual Emperor, the energy of this card is one, again, of firm foundations, of stability, of practicality, of having your energy aligned and in the right place. It's divine masculine energy. I love that the sun is presented here. Obviously, divine masculine energy is also embodied in the sun, yang energy. So there's a lot of solar power that I'm feeling tied to your energy, where you're sitting, your energetic space right now. You're feeling very encouraged, ready to take things on. Again, you're solid and stable as this building appears. You are standing tall, you're standing firm, you're ready to take charge of your life, you're ready to go after your goals. I do feel like you're very laser focused, but you are both practically minded and aligned again with your energy. You are feeling into the divine flow as much as possible. I want to caution you to continue to stay grounded as you do this, because as much as this is a beautiful energy, this is all a lot of pentacles and very earthly, grounded energy that can sometimes stagnate or be stuck or be too focused in what I call the matrix, which is the 3D physical material world that we all exist in as human beings. The 8 of Pentacles is a work card. It's a card of putting your effort towards something, being focused on a goal. Again, skill sets being utilized here. And again, just putting in the work. So as much as that's important, and again, we all have to have a balance in our 3D affairs as well as our spirituality, but, ensure that you are embodying this divine energy and staying aligned as you pursue your goals. Because if you do, then this is what's assured for you, is the 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of Coins. This is the happy family. This is the happy, abundant lifestyle, lots of blessings, lots of manifestations in the positive direction, good momentum built up. I do think you're on your way to this. You may start to see a little bit of this already coming to fruition in the near future. But for the majority of you, you are still in this sort of planning and focused phase and working and developing yourself and stabilizing and just being strong and firm in your energy. Again, I do think you're very, very focused. You're very much in your masculine energy right now. Again, there's a call here from Spirit to ensure you're staying balanced, especially if you have a feminine energy as your core. Because it's important that, again, our energies are balanced. We all embody both masculine and feminine energies, but we each have a core, which is not always associated with our physical gender. But it's important, regardless of what your core energy is, your essence, that you are maintaining alignment with your energies. And it's very easy with the Emperor, with that masculine energy of assertion, where you can sort of tip the scales and get into a little bit more of, again, that matrix energy of getting caught in the fray, the rat race, climbing the corporate ladder. It's okay to have goals. It's okay to be striving for something more out of life or having something in particular that you hope to achieve. But in doing so, Spirit just wants to ensure that you stay balanced while doing so. You keep focused, but also very, I guess the word would be level-headed as you pursue your different dreams and again, your real world goals.
You can take a short walk before getting back to your day.
Every day, without fail, she interrupts one of my videos, no matter what I do. That may be a sign for you. But just again, make time to ensure that you are not only putting in work, inspired action only, by the way. We don't have to associate our worth and value or the ability to manifest with productivity. I know that's a huge representation of what everybody tells us growing up, is that the harder you work, the more you'll achieve. That's not always the case. You need to align with your divine energy, pile 3. And if you do that, then again, what is assured is this beautiful manifestation, this wonderful, abundant, flowing energy. You will have the abundance you're seeking, pile 3. I know that you think you have to work very hard at it in order to achieve it. Again, only inspired action. Take the steps that you feel guided to take from spirit. Stay in touch with your energetic self, your intuitive self. You know, as much as you may be focused in this Emperor energy right now, and it serves you, it definitely serves you, but ensure that you're also staying balanced energetically so that you can allow those blessings to flow to you as easily as possible, and as easily as source or spirit would like them to come to you, because again, they would like you to have everything that you desire. They are a cooperating component to your desires and manifesting and achieving your dreams, but you do have to allow it in, and that happens vibrationally with your energy. So pile 3, just some messages of mindfulness for you today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this mini pick a card reading courtesy of the Midnight City Tarot. If you have, I would invite you to please consider subscribing to the channel. By doing so, you really help me out. And you also then will be made aware every time I post, and you'll be able to see all of the content that I am creating and providing to the collective, which is my great honor to do so. I love connecting with all of you here, whether it's for full pick a card readings. I have many lists featuring full readings, or just deck reviews if that's more your style. Again, this channel serves both communities of those interested in tarot. So thank you for being here with me today and supporting me and this channel. It means the world to me. Again, I am so very honored for everyone that chooses to share space. And until next time, pile 3, I hope you take great care. Bye-bye.